Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We are gonna jump in the queue here, and King Flippy Nips, huh? We'll watch Brian Y versus Arshart. What is happening in this game? This player trying to figure out if they can afford to breach, I guess. They're going for it. Seems like you get breached for a Tarsier. I don't think you should kill a perf, should you? Probably just drones. Or maybe hold a Lance Tooth? Probably hold a Lance Tooth, right? Or don't click the Vi, I guess. Sure. Because it kills the wall this way. Instead of killing two drones. Do you want that? I'm not so sure. I think I like Brian's position. He's getting breached for a lot here, but only if the opponent can actually do this. Sure, kill the Animus to make some perfs defend, but honestly the perfs don't mind defending. And this way you leave your opponent's more valuable stuff alive. Yeah, it's really tough to even take this breach. I think if you're gonna... I think instead of killing the Animus, you should hold back a Lance Tooth. That is way better than holding 4 Tarsiers, drones. Well, this game's moving a little slowly. Let's see what else is on. Big Riccio versus King Flippy Nips. Alright, you got me. Oof, what an exploit. Attack for 6. And like holding back the Omega is actually useful. What? No, you should hold the Omega, right? I mean, I don't know, I guess like... The Blast Forge isn't doing that much for you, and so you could consider doing this. Like, that is to say the third Blast Forge. But... yeah? No, don't click it when it does nothing! Oh my gosh. It was okay to click the Drake if you clicked Omega and held Splitters, although that gives up a lot of Absorb. But here, clicking the Drake was just throwing away a Blast Forge to no effect at all. Attacking for 8 was the same as attacking for 6. This Cryo seems weird. I don't think the opponent is really very often going to have a 1 health defender that they want to defend with, right? They're just going to cycle engineers, you know, golden engineers for the Tesla. I guess golden doesn't matter when, you know. But anyway, build engineers and then Tesla them, and then the Cryo Ray just looks dumb because it can't freeze anything. 2 is fine, but you didn't need to get the first one last turn in that case. Nine is a slight exploit. I would go for that. Drake click kills a wall this time. It seems like Big Riccio is attacking for a lot more, and he's not paying engineers every turn to do it. Yeah, he's like up 3 Splitters instead of a Tesla, and he's up an Omega. That's a pretty... being up in Omega and having like better attackers pretty serious. Trying to attack for everything here is a little tough. Yeah, I mean, just holding the Omega and then building stuff with your money. Like a Gauss cannon, or maybe if you wanted some more cryos and NGs, I don't know. There's no point clicking the Drake, I think. Yeah, opponent's just dead here. They should have been clicking the Drake a while ago, probably. Even though it only kills a force field, it's like, well, these extra forges aren't doing you any good. You might as well get rid of them, and while you can make them do some damage. Oh, no Tesla click next turn. That's gonna hurt. So opponent's only actually attacking for 7, maybe only 6. I would just force field here. Don't drone. Don't hold drone. Don't build wall. Just force field steel splitter. Not 6. They're attacking for 7, maybe only 5. Okay, I guess holding the drone is okay. If you think they might attack for 5, you might not actually have to lose the drone. But in that case, in either case, you shouldn't wall. You're clearly never defending with the wall. But I don't know. I mean, you're in such a winning position. You can make mistakes like this, and it's fine. All right. What do you guys think? Do we get Big Riccio next game? That's my bet. No games live. Well, who's the Pooch playing then? Someone for the league, maybe? Pooch versus Red Rain. Well, that was going to be an interesting one. Greetings, Big Riccio. All right. Apollo, Shadowfang, and Lucina, huh? That's it's a very high value Apollo if you can get it. But it's kind of hard to do, isn't it? Like, if your opponent rushes, yeah, you might actually be able to get Apollo if someone tries to rush Lucina. Especially because, do I not have the Brofist emote? I don't. Alright. If someone rushes, like, Lucina, it takes them a while to build up attack, and meanwhile, you can, like, chrono filter into Apollo, so it's not such a big commitment. And you have grid. I think it might be better to go for, like, chrono filter Fang as your main attacker. Like, that's just so much. It arrives so much sooner than Lucina does. I don't know. Apollo is usually not very good, and yet I still find myself like, oh, maybe in this set Apollo is good. I don't know. If you watch my videos, you would know. There we go. Forgot to mute the chat. So, do we want the third NG? What? don't do that. Alright, well, we're gonna go talk to him in the chat here, I guess. I guess just get back in the queue. And we match someone else. Doesn't seem like you can save here. There's just like way too many pressure units here. Right, Fang, Tesla, Cluster, Arms Race, Bomber, pretty much everything. Alright, he seems to still be mad, but not my problem. The best absorber here is Bomber. If you could ever get to a position where you can like, build Bomber Fang every turn, that would be amazing. But a little bit far-fetched. Maybe you pick up like a synth to get you into like occasional double blues. There's always like Cluster Bolt to spend the spare green, so it's not a big deal to pick it up. And as for like you want, I don't know if you want 1 or 2 red, but 1 or 2 animuses, that is 2 or 4 red. You could sort of make do with either one, building like Bomber Tarsier or Bomber Husk or something. Or like if you're very lucky, Bomber Fang. I don't think I want a 3rd NG because I want my tech pretty early. DDB into synth. I don't want to delay that a turn, I don't think. An Arms Race would be nice to pick up, of course. And I think I could manage to squeeze that in as a first attacker. Right, get like Synth. Could get Synth Animus next turn. It's a bit low on tech, or on drones. But we can spend our tech quite cheaply, actually, with all this stuff. So that might actually be a good idea. Right, like Arms Race Tarsier and then Bombers, basically. I don't have enough green to build Bombers regularly, so I'll have to like figure something out to do with that, but... yeah. Maybe I have to worry about Teslas if my opponent builds a Tesla right away? I don't know. If they do, I can like wall Tarsier and be sort of fine with that. After still building Synth Animus. Yeah, I like Synth Animus as my opening here. Being stuck on 12 drones is a little bit uncomfortable. I'd rather have like 13 or 14. So you could consider not getting the synth and the animus this turn, but I don't know. Drones are pretty good, right? Sorry, drones are pretty bad and attackers are pretty good is what I meant to say. So the turn I'd like to play next turn is Arms Race Tarsier. I expect my opponent to make that difficult. But the only way they can really do that is with a Tesla, and then I just wall. Tarsier, which is like fine. They don't have a good follow-up to the Tesla, right? They can build like splitter Gauss cannon or something if they really want to just, I don't know, that doesn't seem like much of anything. No, hold the drone. What a play. I mean, obviously, just a misclick from like clicking the Tesla, but it's still funny. Okay, so we get attacker initiative, but they're up a drone. Multiple drones. I don't mind this. Their splitter gets to attack. That's cool for them, but only if they either A, build a wall, or B, don't absorb. A wall means they're not building one of the better attackers, you know, anything blue. Namely, I guess it would be Tesla Coil, or Synth. So I'm okay with this. You can have an engineer if you want it. In exchange for getting this high-value arms race. I could build Rhino, I guess. But then they just get the free splitter hold. There's really no reason to offer that. Oh yeah, clicking synth gives me 3 blue. Which means if I build like Bomber, Tarsier, I'm floating blue. Right, it gives me 2 in addition to the 1 I already have. So that's a bit more than I need, but it's still probably worth it to get a Bomber. Interesting. We're being given a chance to get another arms race. Is it good? I guess they want a double arms race next turn, which seems a little bit bleh to me. Doesn't seem great. Well. So I can do this, and then next turn I guess Bomber Wall. Float my red instead of my blue. Puts on a lot of pressure. And defends the double arms race, which is... does it though? Double arms race adds 4 attack, and they already have 1. That's 5. So I'd have to hold a splitter to defend if I wanted to build Bomber Wall. It's not the end of the world, but... yeah. I think this is alright. Oh no, I have 1,000,000 NGs. I don't need a wall. I mean, I do need a wall because I want to defend. I want to absorb, but I don't need to hold the splitter. Okay, we're defended already, which is great. I don't want any more arms races. We're already pressuring enough that they're not going to be good. Tarsier just feels awful here. I feel like I need defense, not a really slow attacker. I think just 2 NGs is better than a Tarsier. A wall would be even better. So maybe I don't get this bomber somehow? But everything else is like pretty bad. Tesla? No thanks. And next turn I can't build a bomber. I don't have enough green. But I'm in a pretty nice position with the bombers I already have. You know what? Maybe these 2 engineers should have been a Tarsier because I can hold a bombarder back to give myself defensive tempo. And I should probably do that. In which case, I probably don't need to use these 2 defense, although I didn't calculate it, so. So they defend on the splitter and get to keep 6 health alive. That's Rhino, Wall Husk, or maybe 2 force fields. I'm not sure which is better for them. Probably Wall Husk, yeah. But anyway, they're not losing any attack. So Husk is not defending here, clearly. I think we just want Rhinos and an NG. I guess it might as well be a Husk, right? I don't know. I'm not going to run out of supply of either one and their equivalent, so I guess I'll get the Husk. Clicking this still doesn't kill Rhino, so yeah, definitely wrong. Let's see, can't build Wall Bomber. Wall Husk defends? And then another Rhino? And a Cluster Bolt. This means that if they attack with everything, I'm losing my Rhino, but they haven't really been capable of doing that previously. I don't think the Bombarder tempo is going to be enough to let them do it just like while I'm adding a cluster. Is it? Like, they're going to lose 12... I guess my attack is going down because of this bomber, so they get to keep 4 health. That's Splitter, Wall, Husk. They have 4, 8 defense lying around. I'll be attacking for 4, 8, 11, 15, 16 if they can kill the Rhino. Yeah, I think this is fine. It's pretty tough for them to attack with everything, and if they do, like, who cares? Oh, instead of Wall Husk, of course, you keep Force Field Husk, sure. This defends. They did manage to kill the Rhino, but it cost them a lot of drones. Yeah. Cool. So I think this was a good opening gambit here. Not a gambit, but just like a good... It sort of is, right? I gambited this engineer, right? And the opponent was not actually able or willing to take it. Because they really wanted a synth. Although, they ended up with too much green, so... I don't know. But they really wanted this double arms race turn, and I think that was not the right idea. Was it? Didn't seem right. I don't know. I would have really preferred to have like 1 or 2 more drones, but I just couldn't find a way to do that. This was just too good as like a way to get my arms race and start. And a single green, right? I spend 1 green next turn. This means I'll have 3 next turn and I can grab the bomber. Although I didn't do that. I went for a second arms race because, yeah, it was still good, right? Sure, fine. But I wanted green income and like I wanted red to start building attackers, and that seemed more important than drones. My opponent's double arms race, like, I don't know, it seems fine. You need some attackers somehow, but I think you built 4 more drones than me, and like that was the real... You were just too slow getting all your attackers when there's all this like high value attacker stuff you could be building instead. And a good tech sink in the form of Cluster Bolt. And sort of a bomber, right? I ended up just having more attack getting there first. My opponent had to force field too much. So that's like the strategic point of view. What about tactically? Anything cool happen? We looked at the Engineer Gambit already. This turn's pretty cool. I guess it was an interesting decision about whether to waste the red or waste the blue. What else did I consider this turn? Anything? No, I just like went right in for it. Spent 20 seconds on it. I think the Bombarder is really good when the opponent is just starting to come under pressure from the last arms race, and we will soon be needing to defend. I guess this turn floating the red and the blue really sucked. But I don't think I could have done anything differently. I guess I could have, on the turn I built the first bomber, I could have held a splitter instead of building a wall. And then I could, like, Tarsier or something this turn. But... And then I'd have an extra $1 next turn that I could wall with, right? That might actually be worthwhile. I was thinking at the time that like it's pretty important to pressure them because that's sort of what we're doing. They have more drones, so we need to make our attack count. But like let's just look at this line and see how it turns out. I forget, what did they do? They got a wall and a bomber or something? And I guess a force field, because Husk isn't enough. And sure. Now this turn I can get a wall and a bomber, but it doesn't actually defend. So I'd have to hold Splitter again to do this. Doesn't really seem all that great. Why was it easier to defend in this line? The opponent attacked for the same amount, right? I guess they were holding the splitter back, so they're attacking for less than they threatened, but Somehow in this line I have one more NG, and I don't know why. Okay, so here was the proposal I had, right? Oh, it's because the opponent actually held the splitter here on this turn, right? They didn't. They didn't click it. Seems like they should have clicked it. They probably would have if I'd done this, because they have a bit more defense lying around. If they have one less defense, this doesn't defend, and they have to husk, but that's fine. That's as good as an NG, better really. And they have one defense to spare. It seems like this is what they should have done in the game. And then I can't actually do this, even if I have an extra $1 left. Right, so say I do this. Oh, they wanted another Tarsier? Oh, that's so greedy. I think this would be better. Look what it does to me, right? I don't know, I guess I have to husk. This is fine, actually. Sure. But the Tarsier is just so slow. I don't think you can afford that. Okay, well there's a tactical thing that came up, I guess. You know what I'd love to see in the graphs that you get to watch, that you get to see at the end of the game, right? I like to look at these, but they like often don't really tell that interesting of a story. Like, yeah, I knew I had less econ and more damage all game. How much more? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But I'd love to see some sort of analysis of common errors that are quantifiable. For example, if it could show me, like, on which turns was I wasting tech? Right? This whole build order thing, like, it's cool to see what I built, and it's cool to see what resources I had available, but it's actually quite difficult to go back and do the math and see, like, what tech was I wasting, right? Here, I wasted a red, but you have to, like, remember the cost of these things to know that. Here, I wasted a red and a blue. You know, it would be nice if, like, the game, who already knows how to do this, could just do it, like, real easily for me somehow. Seeing what I have access to is less interesting to me than what I had left at the end of the turn. And even that doesn't, like, perfectly capture it because, well, I don't know. Actually, it just seems like it would be better, right? Because sometimes there's these weird things where it's like, oh, you had access to 11 green or whatever. Which, like, really, you didn't produce that 11 green for free. It came from vision turrets, and you spent it on a Zamora click, so really you didn't have it at all, or whatever. And seeing what's left at the end of the turn, I feel like would be more productive. But I understand not wanting to change this chart, but maybe adding a different one. Because you know, or turns where you absorbed for less than the absorb value of your largest existing defender, for example, right? Turns you let an exploit get by. This, of course, is not perfect. It doesn't tell you you made a mistake, but it's something to look at and say, could I have improved that turn? That would be really cool, actually. It's like maybe not in the graphs, but some sort of, like, look over this game for common errors and tell me some places that maybe I should double check and see whether I made a mistake, right? Clearly, MasterBot is not good at this game, and so you know, when you deviate from MasterBot, that's not an indication that you played wrong, like it is when you deviate from a chessbot, for example. But some kinds of simple heuristics and analytics might be a good way to point out things you could have improved. So I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing that, but I haven't really thought out the details of, like, what even would be meaningful. What I've proposed would probably be too noisy, so you would want to tune it down somehow. I don't know. Okay, cool. Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.